caves, portals to another world buried deep within our own. Within their silent mouths lie secrets older than humanity, chambers of untold darkness. They pull us inward with an irresistible promise of adventure and exploration, but some who answer this call find only death waiting patiently below. Tonight we delve into the chilling, true stories of these 3 explorers who entered these underground nightmares, only to become eternal prisoners of the dark. It's March 1959 in Derbyshire, England. Neil Moss, a bright 20-year-old Oxford student, enters the infamous Peak Cavern, known ominously as the Devil's Arse. Neil moves ahead of his companions into a narrow, vertical shaft known later as the Moss Chamber, descending into a twisting tunnel barely wide enough for his shoulders. Suddenly, disaster strikes. Neil slips down, becoming tightly wedged up tight in the shaft, trapped by the relentless grip of rocks. His friends hear panicked cries echoing from the darkness, a sound that they'll never forget. Rescuers flood the cave, battling slippery walls and unstable ropes, desperately trying to pull Neil free. But each attempt fails. Ropes snapped repeatedly, and the oxygen grows dangerously thin, poisoned by Neil's own breath filling the tiny chamber with deadly carbon monoxide. Volunteers, risking their own lives, struggle through the choking air. A young caver named June Bailey tries desperately to reach him but retreats, nearly overcome by suffocation himself. After an agonizing 36 hours trapped deep underground, Neil Moss finally slips into unconsciousness and dies, suffocated by the deadly, stagnant air. Heartbroken, Neil's father requests rescuers to leave his son's body where it lies, rather than risk more lives. The rescuers carefully seal the narrow passage with loose stones, forever entombing Neil Moss deep within Peak Cavern. January 8th, 2005, Bushman's Hole, South Africa. A watery abyss plunging 900 feet deep in total blackness. Dave Shaw, a 50-year-old veteran cave diver known worldwide, attempts a terrifying mission: to recover the body of Dion Dreyer, lost here a decade earlier. Shaw carefully straps on a camera, documenting every second as he sinks into the abyss. At over 800 feet deep, he finds Dreyer's remains twisted grotesquely, stuck in the cave's floor silt. Shaw tries desperately to bag and recover the remains, but struggles in the deep, dark water. His breathing accelerates dangerously, panicking as carbon monoxide builds in his blood. His movements grow frantic. Suddenly, he becomes hopelessly tangled in his own dive lines, unable to rise from the depths. His camera captures every moment: panic, confusion, and dread. As Shaw fights in vain against the crushing darkness, soon the footage fades into a terrible silence as Shaw loses consciousness, drowning alongside the body he came to rescue. Days later, in a grim twist, Shaw's body floats to the surface, intertwined with Dreyer's. The retrieved footage provides a disturbing record of Shaw's final moments, the price paid for diving too deep into darkness.
This is a very sloping bottom, so Dave slipped here. Again, now he's coming back to the body. And you can see he's checking, making sure everything's right with his time. Time's getting short now. The time is nearly to the point where he needs to leave. Okay, good check. All the time checking, making sure he's okay, working at the same time. There's the line. This is a line we were worried about being loose, and there it is, loose. Okay, we've now come to the end of our time now, and it's time to leave. Dave's decided he's going to leave. All on plan, everything's right. He's still working hard, everything's right. He's leaving. All on time, working hard. Quick check, make sure his gauges are right. Something seems to be stopping him now, and he's caught in the line. Okay. He's working hard trying to untangle himself. You can see the bag. Okay, there he goes. He's moving on again. Now, he's breathing very hard. It's getting quite difficult to do things. Good check on the gauge. Now, Dave's breathing would be getting quite heavy as he's trying to work his way out. And slowly, Dave would start to become incoherent, and then he would stop.
January 30th, 1925, Kentucky. Floyd Collins dreams of fame hidden beneath Mammoth Cave's endless corridors. But deep inside the narrow confines of Sand Cave, Floyd's dreams became nightmares. Crawling through a cramped passage barely 8 inches tall, Floyd accidentally dislodged a rock, painfully pinning his ankle into the cave floor. Trapped in cold darkness, Floyd cries out desperately for help. News of Floyd's plight ignites a national frenzy. Tens of thousands gather at the cave's entrance, turning tragedy into a spectacle. Reporters crawl down to interview Floyd, broadcasting his torment nationwide, but after 4 days, the passage collapses, cutting off Floyd completely. Above ground, rescuers frantically dig a new shaft through the solid rock, working tirelessly for 17 excruciating days. But beneath the earth, Floyd weakens, succumbing to cold, thirst, and hunger. He quietly dies around the 14th day, though rescuers could only reach him 3 days later, finding his cold, lifeless body. Initially, Floyd's corpse is left entombed. Months later, it's recovered, then displayed as a tourist attraction in a nearby cave. A spectacle. Decades later, his remains are finally buried with dignity, concluding this strange, macabre saga. The harrowing ordeal leaves a legacy of ghost stories whispered throughout Kentucky, tales of Floyd's spirit still trapped beneath the earth, forever pleading for rescuers that never came. These men, Neil Moss, Dave Shaw, Floyd Collins, each ventured into darkness seeking adventure and discovery, but the caves had other plans. Imagine now, beneath your feet, tunnels snaking endlessly through black earth. Think of Neil's hopeless suffocation, Dave's frantic struggle for air, Floyd's desperate cries fading into silence. And consider this chilling truth. The darkness beneath is never satisfied. It waits, patient and eternal, for someone new to wander in too deep. So remember their names: Moss, Shaw, Collins, 3 lives forever claimed by darkness beneath our world. If you venture too deep, you may join them, forever lost beneath the earth. Now in the quiet moment, you ask yourself this one last chilling question. If the earth called your name whispering from below, would you answer? Or would you listen to the voices of those forever entombed in stone, pleading from the depths, warning you to stay away before it's too late?